everyone, this is Vivo Mystery Cases. Did you know that ancient aliens came to Earth thousands of years ago to dig for gold and to discover the human origin? Come and join us as we talk about it some more. The solar system used to have 9 planets. In 2006, the International Astronomical Union downgraded Pluto into a dwarf planet. That's why the solar system now only consists of 8 major planets. Did you know about the planet X, which is considered the most mysterious planet in the solar system? Its existence is not only related to the Earth, but also to the origin of the entire human race. In 1472, an Italian named Giuseppe Barbaro traveled in ancient Persia, which is today's Iran, when he found some strange backgrounds on the broken walls of an ancient temple in Shiraz, Iran, unseen text. These fonts have triangular shoulders that look very similar to nails and double-wedged wooden wedges. Barbaro was surprised. He returned to Italy with this doubt, but no one was interested in his discovery in Iran that people quickly forgot about it. 100 years later, another Italian visited there. He is Pietro della Valle. The fonts on these ruins copied down. He concluded that these must be the ancient Near East texts. Valle took his discoveries back to Europe and called them cuneiform. Later, with the archaeological discovery of Mesopotamia, they later learned that this is the world's first language invented by the world's earliest civilization, Sumerian civilization. But for the next 200 years, no one could recognize these cuneiform characters, and people didn't even know in which direction they started to read. By 1900, basically wedge text has been disappeared in a considerable part. They are also beginning to understand that the world's first Sumerian civilization of the bits and pieces. But then there is one called Zecharia Sitchin, who felt that these words made a completely different interpretation. He declared that these written records of the origin of the myth of how humans and humans who create of. Zecharia Sitchin is an American Azerbaijani ancient civilization researcher who specializes in ancient civilization in the Near East, the earliest civilizations of humans in the 2 river basins. Lifelong research on the connection between ancient civilization and human origins. Since 1976, Sitchin has written his lifelong research into a series of Earth Chronicles. Since the book put forward many bold points, it was not recognized by mainstream scientists after publication. Although this Earth's Chronicle interpretation of human origin is not necessarily correct, we can still use it as another interpretation for exploration of the truth. So many of the points in this video came from this Earth Chronicle year history. If you find it hard to believe, you can look at it as science fiction. The Sumerians are currently recognized as the earliest known civilizations of mankind. They originated in 2 river basins in Iraq today. The Sumerian civilization can be traced back to 4500 BC through the carbon-14 dating test on the Sumerian ruins. From the archaeological excavations of the Sumerian civilization, it was found out that they may have mastered the world's earliest agriculture, settled and established cities. They created the earliest civilization of mankind, such as calculating and measuring land, and their observations of astronomy are even all beyond human civilizations at that time. It is one of the earliest Sumerian astronomers, and perhaps sooner than any other nation, but systematically divided the sky into a one-star cluster. And 3,000 years BC, they did so. It was later put this cluster known as constellation. Zecharia Sitchin's study of white-collar workers in clay Sumerian cuneiform left announced the discovery of a larger early human civilizations. NiBiRu is the god in Sumerian mythology. Sumerians call it the 12th celestial body of the solar system. These 12 emperors refer to the traditional 9 planets plus the sun and the moon. At that time, the cognition of celestial bodies had been discovered by people, and there were only 11 of them. The 12th planet is known as NiBiRu. According to Sumerians, it takes 3,600 years for NiBiRu to orbit the sun, which means that it will pass through Jupiter and Mars every 3,600 years. This orbit is a very flat orbit. Rather than to now, the stars of the solar system is almost perfect circular orbit. The farthest revolutionary cycle of Pluto in the solar system is only 248 years, and the planets in 3,600 years of revolution have long exceeded the gravity of the solar system. According to the distance reached by solar wind energy, the boundary of the solar system is in the Kuiper belt. Kuiper belt is 45 to 50 billion years ago to form the Sun after a large slug material colliding with each other, forming several planets and their moons and some smaller material away from the Sun. Because in the depth of the ice frozen in, it has been capped around the Sun. Here are small asteroids and clusters of matter, forming a very wide band of celestial bodies and the Pluto, which was previously downgraded to a dwarf planet and located in the Kuiper belt. New objects have been discovered in the Kuiper belt. Pluto is probably not the largest celestial body in this area. The celestial bodies here are called outer Neptune celestial bodies, referred to as overseas celestial bodies. The previous Voyager 1 and 2 probes just flew through the scientific and technological band, which can only be regarded as flying out of the classic solar system boundary. Outside of the Kuiper belt, scientists believe that there is still a second and 2 light years away from the Sun. This is similar to the Kuiper belt, which is the remnant material of the nebula cloud that formed the Sun and its planet 51 years ago, which takes more than 1,000 years to orbit the Sun. The range of the solar system may be much larger than we think. There are many celestial bodies that have not been discovered in the solar system. A celestial body that orbited the Sun for 3,000 years theoretically exists. On the planet NiBiRu, there is a group of highly intelligent people. According to Sumerian records, they are Anunnaki, and they should be considered an ancient relationship. At that time, Anunnaki drowned gold into a nano-sized particles, and each gold particle was a charged particle. These tablets may came to form a safety net, but the gold resources on the planet NiBiRu are very scarce. So 45 billion years ago, Anunnakis came to Earth. In addition to the perfect ecosystem and diverse species on the Earth, there are also abundant gold mines. So a small group of people flowed down and performed gold mining tasks on the Earth. They first came to the Persian Gulf, which is a group of Anunnaki in Iraq near the birthplace of the later Sumerian civilization. Under the leadership of the leader called Enki, they began gold mining, except for the leader. The rest of the Anunnaki people are basically miners, and they cannot complete the gold collection task with their power. Combining long animals, they created a group of slaves with high IQ and called them slaves Adamu. Such time passed 10,000 years to 13 BC, the time Anunnaki to leave, they decided to destroy the creators of the earth with a world flood, including their created and Adamu miner. This is the legendary prehistoric flood. After hearing this, many people think that this is nonsense. Let's take a closer look at the story and see if it is possible. Why did they came to dig gold on the earth? Why have they not come to another planet? Why did they have to travel so far from the earth? We know that gold is a rare substance on the earth. In fact, the gold reserves on the earth are about 5 million tons, and the content is very rich. But 99% are located in the mantle and in the river. There are only less than 100 million tons in the crust. To dig the gold in the river is not possible with current human technology. 75% of the elements in the universe are hydrogen. At extremely high temperature, nuclear fusion reactions occur, generating elements such as oxygen and nitrogen. Later, after complex reaction, carbon and iron are denser, but like gold. This extremely dense substance is almost impossible to produce under normal conditions. Generating gold requires an unconventional condition, and the birth of gold requires the collision of neutron stars. Like a supernova outbreak, we talked about it in the last supernova video, because only the supernova explosion will cause the super dense core material to radiate and allow gold to be produced. So how did gold came from the earth? About 4 billion years ago, 2 neutron stars collided to produce extremely dense materials. Among them, gold was generated and then thrown into the universe with other elements, mixed with another materials, one of which contained giant A comet with a large amount of gold hit the earth that was still in its infancy at that time. A large amount of gold elements were mixed with the core of the Earth. With the subsequent geological movement and volcanic eruptions, some of the gold reached the crust and formed the current gold mine. If NiBiRu's diameter is larger, the impact will be greater. After careful observations of astronomical telescopes on the Earth, the orbits of the planet and satellites in the solar system are extremely stable, and this stability was formed over several billion years. If such an alien intruder had indeed penetrated the Mars to Earth orbit of the solar system, then NiBiRu would have been measured long ago. If Anunnaki came to Earth 4.5 billion years ago, then they will encounter the late ape people 1.5 million to 3,000 years ago. These late ape people can walk upright and can make more advanced tools and use fire. Although they belong to the category of people, but still maintained a lot of ape system features, and not completely out of the scope of the animal. And Anunnaki should be is for this late ape man has been transformed. The late Homo sapiens were retained as the crystallization of wisdom, while Enki and Adam's first man was Adam and Eve in the Bible. Eden should be Enki to cultivate this late Homo laboratory created, and in this laboratory, many hybrids of the Anunnaki and ape were created. We did not expect these hybrids, but the real wisdom of Anunnaki did not have the heart to destroy this crystal of wisdom and give them a new world. Do you have any ideas to share? Leave us a comment down below and let's discuss. Watch out for more upcoming videos only here at Fivo Mystery Cases.